Hello, we are now on a new chapter called Resources, and this, of course, is a very rich chapter of information for you. You know, what we've done so far is take you through a lot of the stages of the diseases, the caregiving tips, how to take care of yourself. I've tried to give you the answers to a lot of the very crucial aspects that you are going to be facing. But let's take a look at the homework that you can now do. I've even tried to streamline that for you. One resource here that I would encourage you to visit is called the Well Spouse Association. This is a nonprofit, and it's really designed to provide emotional support for peers, husbands, wives, spouses, partners, for critically ill or disabled people. You'll also see that they have some connections through government associations, through the VA and so forth. But it's certainly not limited by any means to military. I just think it's a great organization with a wonderfully rich resource. So please consider visiting that. An area that I would call your attention to, because every one of us faces this in caring for our loved ones, is about driving. And under the category of driving and how to encourage your loved one to cease driving is the Auto Club Foundation, seniordrivers.org. Wonderful, wonderful information. Also some tests that you can use in your own home and some conversation starters that you can use. Wonderful resource. Take advantage of it. The Visiting Nurse Association, hospice, home care and hospice is a whole section I'd like to encourage you to take a look at. Again, hospice is a greatly misunderstood, wonderful, wonderful service for you. So visit the association website, learn what hospice really is intended to do and why you want to avail yourself of their services and when the right time is to contact hospice, okay? I think you're getting the idea. We've got a great deal of information here about Medicare, about the VA, again, understanding Medi-Cal, Medicaid, depending on where you live in this country. Great information in this resource section. Finally, we're going to take a look at some of the forms. These are, I'd like them to be a big, big help to simplifying your life. Many of them I created myself just out of my own need, and in sharing conversations with other people in my support groups, I discovered they had developed some similar kinds of forms, so they've shared theirs with me so I can pass them on to you. I've also borrowed some of these forms with recognition from other organizations. What is very valuable to you, and I would say is when we talk about the must-dos, within the must-dos, please start an information resource log. Get a binder. One of the $1 binders is fine. Put together, use this form, important numbers at a glance. Very, very simple. You can just copy this right out of your book and start filling it in. Let me know if you'd like me to forward you the actual format, the format piece, the template, and I'll be more than happy to do that. Just email me. Put all of those critical resources down here. These are not just your doctors. We tend to forget about listing immediate family members, relatives that can be reached right away, nearby friends that if something happened to you and you weren't home and you needed care immediately or attention immediately to your loved one, this should be the first page in the binder, and this book, everybody who's on your list should know where this book is, okay? That's the kind of information you want to have immediately accessible. I've included a form that I encourage you just to copy and paste the business card to this form of the key people that should be contacted immediately in an emergency. And also, these are the people that you are going to be contacting on a regular basis. Just put this in the very front of your book. You might even slide it into the cover of your book. These are your doctors, your attorney, your children, and so forth. An area that we spend a lot of time with are medications. I have a form that I developed to keep tabs on on the initial medications of both my mother and father, and then I updated it constantly because, as you know, these are constantly changing areas. I simply listed the drugs, the strengths, the dosage they were supposed to have, and the purpose for that medication. And I even included a line for the doctor to sign and date so that I could update that on a regular basis. This helped me a lot. I had it immediately accessible and unfortunately had to use it often when I called for paramedics to come to the home. I just handed those paramedics those forms. I handed the paramedics the form, and they knew immediately what was going on with my mother or my father. It was very efficient, greatly appreciated. Every time I took them to a doctor, I had the most current form. Same is true with the hospital. Use this form in any fashion that you'd like. I've given you 3 different formats to use. Find the one that works for you. Again, if you'd like the template, email me. I'll forward it to you. Make the changes easily. I dated them, and then I could update them. I maintained a separate file on my computer so that I could go back and see all the changes that had happened over a period of a year. And that was also very helpful when I took my mother or father to a new doctor. I said, okay, here's the history, all right? I want you to have a history log. Also, if you're going to have caregivers in the house, just created a very simple format for you to fill out. These are the morning meds, the afternoon meds, and the ones that are dispensed as needed. Really very helpful. Posted it right on the cabinet. There were no confusion who got what. So there's a reason for every single log and form that I have in this book for you to follow. I'm sure you maybe have some great ones, and I'd love for you to share them with us. Take another form that I've included here is the doctor's visitor notes. Why are you going to the doctors that day? What the symptoms were? These are great things that you can make your notes throughout the course of a week or a month. These are the kinds of things you're noticing about your loved one that you want to bring up. Just jot them down. You're never going to remember it. You think you will, but you won't. Jot them down. Just date one of these. Then your doctor can give you the information, make your notes, bring them back home with you, remind yourself. It's also a great way to use this as a guide to communicate with your family. Gee, I took your dad to the doctor today. Here's an email telling you what happened. Here's the outcome of that. Now you also have another log. I have a friend who told me that when she would email to her husband's children on a regular basis, she always copied herself on that email and kept her own log of what was going on with her husband. And she could look back over months and see the progression of his condition. I thought, what a common sense, obvious thing to do, and I now added that to my communication as well. Share any information you have with me. We'd love it. We'll share that on with other people. Well, I know that's a lot of information for you to take in, but watch this segment over and over. And also remember, if you have questions that you would like to discuss with me, visit me anytime at www.dementiahelpcenter.com. Click on my email address or call me on my 800 number. It would be my pleasure to help you.